Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
This is Autoline Daily for June 23rd, 2010, and now the news. Here's something that's getting to be quite common. The Wall Street Journal reports that Toyota is idling a plant in China due to yet another strike, this time at a Denso factory that makes fuel injectors. Denso already gave its workers a raise in April, but they want more. And Bloomberg reports that Honda had to close 2 of its plants again for the same reason, striking workers at a supplier company that want more money. And here's where it gets even more interesting. BMW faces a labor dispute at one of its biggest dealership groups in China. Workers walked off the job because, you guessed it, they want more money. And speaking of money, Nissan CEO Carlos Ghosn got $9.5 million in compensation for last year. That compares to the $9 million that GM is paying its chairman, Ed Whitaker, the $6.5 million that Fiat is paying Sergio Marchionne, and the $5.5 million that Daimler paid Dieter Zetsche. Oh, and by the way, Ghosn also gets another $1.6 million in compensation as CEO of Renault. GM announced it will create a new regional organization in South America called GM South America. The unit will be run by Jaime Ardila, who's currently the president and general manager of GM Mercosur, and he'll report directly to company chairman and CEO Ed Whitaker. The company already has product design and engineering capabilities in South America, which will continue to develop vehicles specifically for that market. You know, I think GM made a mistake creating one unit for its international operations, and I believe eventually the company is going to go back to its original structure when there were separate operations for the different regions. A member of the German government says the country will double the amount of ethanol it puts in gasoline. According to Bloomberg, the amount will be increased from a 5% blend up to a 10% blend by the end of the year. Biofuels only make up 5% of Germany's total transportation fuels, and the use of fuel made from plants dropped because the government eliminated tax breaks for consumers. In related news, the EPA has once again delayed its decision as to whether it will allow the ethanol blend in the U.S. to increase from 10% up to 15%. According to Edmunds Green Car Advisor, the agency was supposed to make a decision this month, but says it will not have one until at least September. The EPA is waiting on tests being done by the Energy Department that want to make sure that increasing the blend will not harm engines built after 2007, but the agency says everything so far looks good. Fit and finish are a big part of vehicle quality. Buyers do not want to see misaligned trim or gaping panel gaps on their new $35,000 baby. To help boost the quality of its vehicle body surfaces, Wards reports that General Motors is making more extensive use of a technology called laser brazing. The company's using this advanced welding process on the new Cadillac CTS Coupe. Laser brazing eliminates the ditch joint that forms when two surfaces are joined together. The two-door Caddy uses the process along its roof and across its deck lid, where a single stamping would not have been possible because of the depth of draw. This technology also streamlines the painting process. As you would expect, one obstacle to the more widespread use of laser brazing is cost. It is more expensive than traditional spot welding. This story comes to us from Autoblog, courtesy of NBC San Diego. Seems that California lawmakers are desperate to plug the state's $19 billion budget deficit, and they are willing to try just about anything. One proposed way to generate more revenue is to introduce digital license plates. Apparently, the stamped pieces of metal that we've been using for more than a century just are not good enough anymore. The idea here is that the plates could display a digital message whenever a vehicle is stopped for more than 4 seconds. In emergencies, they could even broadcast Amber Alerts or other traffic information. And yep, just what we need. If Americans weren't distracted enough already, we need them reading license plate advertisements when they're behind the wheel. What are they going to think of next? Coming up next, it's time for You Said It.
Introducing Bridgestone's third generation of run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technologies. Bridgestone run-flat tires offer improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear while giving you the peace of mind and comfort you need.
And now it's time for some of your feedback. First off, I owe an apology to Pedro Fernandez, who wrote in last week about Ford building the Fusion in Mexico. I said I had to correct him that the Fusion was going to be built in Michigan. Wrong. The new Focus is going to be built in Michigan. The Fusion will be built in Mexico, like it has all along. Another correction. Reran a story from IHS Global Insight saying car sales in Canada were down for the last 2 months. That prompted Peter Sarnett to write in and say, wrong. You know, sure enough, Ward's sales tally shows that sales in Canada are up for the last 3 months and are up nearly 7% for the year. EAB wrote in to ask, okay, what's the point of the new Honda CRZ? Its performance and economy stats are not all that much higher than a straight-up gasser, and the hybrid drivetrain doesn't provide any more performance. In fact, I would guess if they took weight out of the car that supports all the gee-whiz stuff, as well as the hybrid drivetrain, it would probably perform the same as it does with the toys and hybrid drivetrain. You know, EAB, I think you're onto something here. If you compare the Honda CRZ to the Honda Fit, which is not a hybrid, you'll see they have the same power-to-weight ratio, 21 pounds per horsepower. The EPA rates the Fit at 29 mpgs, but says most people will get 32. The CRZ is rated at a combined 33 mpgs with the manual transmission. So even with no hybrid technology, and even though it's a bigger car, the Fit almost matches the CRZ in fuel economy. Hey, thanks for all your letters, comments, and questions. We really appreciate getting them. But that brings us to the end of this show. Thanks for watching Autoline Daily. We will see you tomorrow.